Hello. In my training, I actually worked at Madigan Army Hospital as one of the locations that we worked in. So we'd work with soldiers, and there's a type of overuse injury that they would get called the march fracture. And this happened because of marching long distance with the rucksack on, a heavy rucksack on. And what they would do is, as they're walking and running with these rucksacks on, they would end up getting pressure to bones of the foot, typically the second metatarsal, and that stress would create a little fracture, a little crack in that bone. If they continued to function, which most of them did, that fracture could get worse and actually become a huge problem. So instead of just having a little crack in the bone, they can actually get a completely displaced fracture from it continuing to get worse and worse. We also see stress fractures in other individuals from overtraining, over-exercise, of other types of overuse. So maybe you run a long marathon and your foot starts to hurt near the end of the marathon or in a period of that. You come in later and get evaluated, and you actually have a crack in the bone from overuse because either poor shoes or poor activities or whatever. And so a stress fracture is a crack in the bone. It's similar to most any other fractures or breaks of the bone, except it's usually the break in the cortex usually doesn't displace unless you actually make it worse. So if you have an overuse problem, you're doing too much, you're actually running too much, or you're exercising too much, especially if you're not in good shoes or not on the right surfaces, you can actually create a stress fracture that can become a huge problem. So stress fracture or march fracture is the other name for it, or cracks in the bone from overuse. This is Dr. Brandt Gibson. This is your Podiatry Tips Day 309 and stress fractures. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.